which is today, May 16, 2018, our Wednesday Bible study of the kings of Israel and Judah. And we will be dealing with the subtopic concerning Saul attempts to kill David, Jonathan, and their friendship. Saul attempts to kill David, Jonathan, and their friendship. We'll be starting with the 19th chapter of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 19. We encourage you to participate, and share your thoughts, because one thing we have to understand is each of us has something to share with one another that we are yet to understand or need refortifying in. Teacher just leads the discussion. So 1 Samuel 19, verse 1, and Saul spake to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee. And what I see, that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and Saul said unto him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he had not sinned against thee. Now, forgive me, this is Jonathan telling Saul this. And because his works have been to thee very good. So he speaks up for David. He is his son. He is closest to Saul as far as human beings could possibly be. He is the next in line for the king. He should be respected based on his statements alone. And so therefore, what we want to do with this lesson is to understand, we being kings and priests, we have to understand these lessons, we should find ourselves in them somehow, where we can address the challenges that have come before us, and that we can be a Jonathan and a David, but God forbid, never a Saul. So verse 5 says, For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine. And the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? So this is what you and I have to do. We have to make a plea for the individual saints who can not speak for themselves. David can't come and speak to Saul. Saul will go off on them, flip over on them, and whatever term we want to use. The man is beside himself. And we want to point out one thing. Sometimes you hear saints try to draw some type of a time frame between the spirit leaving you. I want to nail that to the cross, saints. I've heard even preachers deal with this. We talked about it in previous lessons. Instantaneously, when David is anointed, instantaneously, the spirit leaves Saul and adjoins himself to David. And we got to be careful with how we want to try to say how God moves. Let's not put time frames that the Bible don't talk about. We don't know how much grace God will give an individual. And so let's not try to be God. Let's just be us. Let God be God. And then we talk about what the Lord has done. And the reason being, saints, is because you and I don't have the pass card to do this thing. People listen to us, and you listen to people. One of the things you have to understand, brethren, the ear tastes like the tongue tastes food. When you taste food, some of you may not know, I used to be in the restaurant business, we were taught, when you open a can, don't put your face over it, because if it has botulism poison, some have been known to die instantly. And so, you can't just hear stuff and think it's not going to affect you. I hate when people think that way. It does affect you. And you have to have a filter and guard your soul. Some of us think that we can, maybe visit denominational church that's not going to affect, or even talk on the floor of Church of Christ. But let me explain something to you. Your ear is like the tongue. And if you taste poison, you're out. And you may say, well, I have my spirit to help. Yeah, but see, that's why the Lord said, be careful how you hear. Because he's saying, you can even hear what I'm saying. He's speaking to the disciples. and not get it. Why? Because it's us, brethren. Saul is being taught by his son, reminded of the great things they did. What are you trying to kill him for? But he cannot be reasoned with. Thank you for waiting, Sister Paul.
You kind of touched on what I was going to make a comment on in verse 4 and 5, how that Jonathan being not chosen by God in a sense, and David being chosen by God, and how Jonathan is speaking up for David. And what I want to bring as an application for today is how we live before others.
Yes.
Because everyone is not a Christian, but everyone is watching you. And everyone is attaching themselves to you. There's always someone attaching themselves to you. You know, you could have a best friend that has no dealing whatsoever with Christ and will never have no dealings with Christ.
That's true.
But then you still have the friendship, and that person pulls from you. Although they will never come and get baptized, you can speak with them till the day they die. And I know that we probably have all had some kind of friend or relative that you've been so close to, and they watch you.
That's right.
They see what you do. They see how you talk, how you walk, how you act, and so forth. And this is a relationship that Jonathan and David has. Jonathan has not the same ties with God as David has, but yet Jonathan see all the good in David, and he attaches himself to David.
Amen.
And here he speaks for David, because again, you mentioned just a while ago that David is not able to speak for himself because Saul is after him for no reason. And even Jonathan can't understand, for what reason are you chasing this man that does you good? And here again, bringing it to an application of today, so many of us do Christian things to non-Christians.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. You know, you wonder why you keep giving him money when you know he ain't gonna do right by it. You know, why you letting her in your house when you know she ain't gonna do right by you? You know, so many times you do things for others that don't even deserve it, because it's of God. All of it is of God. But yet you show the Christianity part of it, of, you know, you take care of the Christian, but you take care of the non-Christian as well. And here Jonathan was taken care of by David. The love that they had for each other, not as a sexual love, but the love that they had for each other, that friendship was so close that Jonathan would do just about anything for David, and vice versa from what we read in the scriptures, because Jonathan is standing before his father.
That's right.
You know, it's not many times that you can come before me and try to stand before me, and I'm your mother or what have you, and you trying to convince me of something, but I'm your mother. And here Jonathan is pleading for David, but then how he pleads for him and how he tells his father what good, like you said, what good he's doing for you. No, we don't put a time limit on God at all when God does stuff, but then we continue to show forth the Spirit of God in front of others.
That's
is
right.
what I'm saying, because you never know when you may need that one that is not of God to speak for you, and God will allow that to happen. So many times he used non-Christians. Look how long Cornelius in the book of Acts sent up his arms and did good deeds and so forth, but he was not a Christian.
That's
but
right.
God took note of all of that. And here again, God takes note of those that are not of his fold. He takes note of how you treat minds, how you do minds, how well you do. So we have to be careful. Basically what I'm saying in a nutshell is we have to be careful what we do before others.
That's
you know,
right.
because we're that light that they're looking into. And if that light brings into any darkness, then you know you're closing the door to them, because you never know. But of course, there are, like I said, has been times when the closest of closest, and still they say no.
That's right.
But you still live that light before them.
Amen. Well said. So that's exactly right. Excuse me. And we have to understand is Saul should be a light. He should be the leading light. Why? Somebody said, well, why would it be Saul? Because he started out better than everyone else. I'm going to keep reminding us, he starts out better than everyone else. Brethren, don't ever think that you're a second-class citizen in the kingdom. The person that taught you, baptized you, they may, at the time, have more knowledge than you could even imagine your brain could hold about the law. Well, never count yourself out, because at any time they can fizzle out like one of those bottle rockets. We have to understand that. And so David, when you have like Sister Paul said, when you have someone can't speak themselves, speak up for them. And you got to get it from the other person. That's why a lot of people don't. I don't want to start nothing, you know, grandma don't like it. Well, that's too bad. You need to speak up for them. Because God is judging Jonathan, on is he going to speak up. Because, man, you know, Jonathan can have a bad attitude. The kingship is his. It's locked in. It's supposed to be Saul's family all the way till Christ comes. But Saul blows it. He could get angry with God. It's not my fault, man. That's my daddy's stupid. You know, man, that's wrong, God. But he's so holy and right. He's not perfect. He is going to sin. He makes error. But he is on point to understand it's you, David. But they have a friendship that makes him glad it's David. But this is going to be a sad story, saints. I want you to get ready. This is a sad story. You may see yourself where you have lost a close-knit friendship with someone because of someone that interfered, that did not like them, that continued to get in the way of you and that person's friendship. And the friendship is legitimate before the Lord. Okay, so he says in here that he's diagnosed without cause. Verse 5, without cause you want to kill him. Verse 6, and Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan. Now see, remember now, the Spirit of God is no longer with Saul. He's running on simple reasoning. Saints, I want to point out something to you and listeners too. Beware of those who walk on reasoning versus spirituality. They almost look the same. You know, the wheat and the tare looks the same except the seeds are smaller with the tare. Isn't that amazing? So you got to know what you're doing. You got to wait till the harvest, because once the harvest grows, they are distinctly different. You can see them. You put them up before, you might grab the wrong thing. The harvest is not supposed to come until it's ready. And Christ is not coming back until they have grown together, he said. And so our eyes are the ones looking. We should be able to see, saints, who is righteous and who is not. The Lord said when he brought Israel back, he said, then you will know those who are righteous from the unrighteous. We're supposed to know that, brethren. Please don't get caught up in I beg you. Verse 6, he said, Saul hearkened unto him, and Saul sware, as the Lord liveth, he should not be slain. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in time past. Now everybody thinks it's cool. Verse 8, and there was war again. And David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter. And they fled from him. And the evil spirit of the Lord was upon Saul. And he sat in his house with a javelin in his hand. That's another thing I want to point out. And David played with his hand. He's always got that javelin. He's a hair trigger. You know some saints. Because he's still a saint. He's become a son of Belial. He's still going to church. Saul is out after year 2. After year 2, between year 2 and 3, he's gone. God is done. And this guy is going to church, the king. He's winning battles. It's on borrowed time. God has a day sentence. I'm going to kill him over here. You got to know the difference in one who is not using reasoning, but reading the answers from the Bible. They're so alike, saints. It's so hard for you to tell them. But it's for your safety. You must know. If they're not reading answers, brethren, they're using reasoning, you got to be careful, because they're going to get you one day if you don't watch it. There you go, my brother.
Yes, thank you. I was thinking about this, and, you know, after Saul and David, they went to war at a certain time, and they were singing a song. You know, David had his thousands, Saul his thousands, and David had more. Yes. Well, he defeated more than Saul. From that day forward, his heart changed and his mindset changed. And the word in Isaiah 1:18 says, "Come now, let us reason together." He said, "The Lord, though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be like wool." And that word reason in the scriptures, it says to reciprocally, to argue, justify, or convict, to convince, to reprove, to rebuke. And so, but how God is mentioning, let us reason together, is with the scriptures. It's not with man's wisdom or worldly wisdom. And it's to compare, you know, your life with the life of how I want you to live. And so what Jonathan did with David is he reasoned with him. He told him the details of what he did to the Philistine, how he didn't commit sin, he hasn't sinned, and look at his judgment, his father's judgments on why he wants to do this to him. But one of the causes was jealousy. One of the causes was he allowed evil to come in his heart, and then plus an evil spirit came in as well.
That's right.
And so when you have that driving you instead of what said the Lord, you remove God from your actions or from your thoughts, and now you just see men. You see your intentions. You see your devices. You want to bring it to pass, and so you wanted to bring it to pass through force, through your power that you have, and it blinds you. It blinds you, not knowing that, okay, God is going to remove everything I have from me because I want to do it my way instead of God's way. And so that's why he constantly had this issue, because he didn't put God before him in his actions.
That's right.
Or in his understanding, but he put himself.
Amen.
And when you put yourself, you always fall when you put yourself.
God bless you, brother. That is so true. We can see that, and that's why we wanted to take a walk through these particular scenarios. And as we said when we started, David and Saul are talked about more than any other kings. And so that's why you keep hearing say, well, we're going to get to this. Well, because they had such an impact on the walk of Israel in the beginning. Saul was going to send Israel spiraling down. And David rose up and then set them on the point that they needed to be. But then afterwards, Solomon comes on. We're going to see about him. That's another one that you see a lot said about these first three guys. And so, it's interesting because you can, as Brother Javier just pointed us, Paul, they put us in it. Put yourself in it. Who's a Saul in your life? Are you Jonathan or are you David? You could be either one. Prayerfully, we hope we're not Saul. And so he says here on verse 7, he came before him. There was war. David showing himself fighting again, no problem. And the evil spirit, he's got the javelin. He's back, half trigger mode, verse 10. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall of the javelin. Now, why would this happen? Because he has, listen, saints, I beg you, an evil spirit. Brother Javier say he wants himself first. I've got plans. I've got ideas. I've got things I'd like to do. We should do this as a congregation. We should do that. It's like, but hold on, Saul. So you tell people, hold on, Saul. You're going to hurt yourself. And he says, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped at night. So he's playing the music. He's sitting there, got the evil spirit getting, he just whoop, he throws. David gets away. What a crazy person. Verse number 11, he says, Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him. Now he go to the man's house to watch him, and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him. Now remember, this one he got to keep. Saul burnt him on the first girl, but he got to keep this one. But remember, don't get too happy about it, because she's all right now, but she's going to act a fool with David later. Just remember what we're saying. Saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal let David down through a window and went and fled and escaped. So David got away. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with the cloth. So it looked like he was sleeping. And when Saul sent message to take David, she said he is sick. See, she's buying him time to get away. She's like Rahab the harlot, buying him time to get away. And Saul sent the messenger again to see David, saying, bring him to me in the bed, that I may slay him. See, nobody nothing. See, that's somebody really want to get you. If he's sick, bring the bed to me. Put the bed with him in it, and I'm going to kill him. Saul has lost his mind. He's lost it. He says, I'm going to tell you something. I knew a brother, well, I'm not going to call his name out. He's a good guy. And he had labeled some men we knew, and I'm not going to call his name out because you might guess who the people are, but he said, yeah, that guy Saul. I used to say, how do you? I said, man, you tagged him good. He said, yeah. He said, other guy's Legion, because he had devils in him. He just called him and said, this one's Legion. And I said, man, I would laugh. I said, man, you something else. I said, they act like that too. And you'll see these people. Don't get excited when you see it. Oh man, that guy's like Saul. Or maybe she's like Saul. It could be a woman too now. So he says, bring him to him, I'm going to kill him in his bed. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed and a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said unto Michal, why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away mine enemy, that he is escaped? That's her husband. He has no respect for family. As Brother Frias said, he put himself up. So Paul said, he's not letting his light shine. His light is out. The bulb has been busted in Saul. And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go. Why should I kill thee? So she flips it because, she got to deal with her dad. Like Sister Paul said, you can't talk to your mom. The mama's supposed to tell the daughter's baby that do that one on you. The father should teach the child. So, look here, man, your answer's wrong. And so what happens here is she got a lie now. He said he would kill me because, I got to live with my dad. I got to deal with my daddy. He's the king. Not only is he my daddy, he's the king. And so, 18, so David fled and escaped and came to Samuel. Now look what's going to happen. Now see, I told y'all, Samuel already said, I'm scared of him. He'll kill me, Lord. He already told Lord. And the Lord didn't go, nay, it shall not be. No, the Lord knew, yeah, he will because he's crazy. So David goes to the man of God, Samuel, to Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. Now see, Ramah is not where Saul is at. That's another spot because they way from Saul now. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Naioth. Now they got to bail up from that section. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is in Naioth and Ramah. Now watch this, saints. Now watch this. Now they told him where he's at. But see, you got to remember, God protects us. God protects. People may know where he at. They knew where Jesus was at, but they never could find him. Isn't that amazing? They hated him so they have to go ask people, have you seen Jesus? He would be right around. They just couldn't catch him because the law is protecting him. He says, and Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of God was upon the messenger of Saul, and they also prophesied. So the messenger came and saw the prophets prophesied. See, this is the time when the prophets are speaking. Prophesying would be speaking well of God. The Lord. See, remember Balaam prophesied about Christ coming. And so these guys are prophesying about all sorts of things. Samuel standing over them, while they're doing this, listening if things are right. So the messengers come to kill him, to hunt out David, and they start prophesying. See, you got to understand something about God. If he wants to, he'll show you. I can turn your heart around, but you'll really be able to see who I am. And you'll start saying good stuff about me. But you're still not mine. See, that's show his power. See, because man's eyes can be open to see how beautiful God is. But when he's evil, like Brother Frias said, your eyes become blinded. The reason the scriptures say they could not see because Isaiah said they have been given the spirit of song because they were evil. But God could open their eyes any time. And he did. See, that is my son. And they knew it. And they went, well, if we say it, John 12 says, they'll throw us out the temple. So he lets their eyes get closed again. See, so it isn't that God is forcing them to prophesy. He's letting them see, you should be speaking good about me. Watch what's going to happen to this crook Saul. This is such a beautiful story. And so he says, and when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers. So he sent another set of messengers. And they prophesied likewise. Every time they came up on Samuel, the other messengers that stuck prophesying, and they come in, and they see the beauty of the Lord, and they prophesy. And Saul sent messengers again a third time, and they prophesied also. Isn't that amazing? See, he's sending a new set. Every story keep coming back. Man, everybody go down there and start prophesying. Watch what's going to happen. Then this is Saul, also to Ramah, and came to a great well that is in Sechu. And he asked and said, where are Samuel and David? And one said, behold, they be at Naioth in Ramah. And he went thither to Naioth and Ramah, and the Spirit of God was upon him also. Look at that. Now remember, the Spirit of the Lord left him long ago. But now he comes in the presence of these holy men, and the Spirit of God comes upon him. And watch, remember Saul did this before. It says, and he went on and prophesied until he came to Naioth and Ramah. So while he's coming down to get them, the Lord opens his eyes. Remember how it used to be between me and you, Saul? Remember how it started off with you prophesying? Look, talk good about me. All the way down till he gets to Samuel and him. And so look what happens, verse 23. And he went thither to Naioth and Ramah. The Spirit of God was upon him. Prophesied till he came there, verse 24. And he stripped off his clothes also. Watch this. And prophesied before Samuel in life. When he got to Samuel, he just started taking his clothes off. prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, is Saul also among the prophets? They saw it before. So see, you can come up to a saint that has done nothing wrong to you, and another saint that supports him has done nothing wrong to you, and God will flip it, and you'll be saying all kind of good stuff about the Lord, you know, until you get out the presence, because you're nothing but a crook. It's a temporary fix to show the person, why don't you want to be like this? And me and you, God is saying, will be together. Because I'm no good. That's why. I am a no good person. Evil spirits, I prefer them hanging around me. Because when I get back away from this stuff, I'm going to act a fool again. Now watch what's going to happen. Verse 20, chapter 20. And David also fled from Nath and Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, what have I done? What is my iniquity? Remember, so Samuel averts. Remember, Samuel's afraid. Saul killed him, but God turns his heart. Show him how beautiful it should be. Once again, you and I, you know, we can be together, Saul. So David gets away, he buys David time. And then David says, what is mine iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life? And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. This is Jonathan. And behold, my father would do nothing either great or small, but that he will show it me. So, see, you know, this is when, that's what we want to talk about. He says, and why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. So he's not going to hide it. Saints, sometimes you have an inside track on crooks. It's important for you to be holy and keep the righteous safe from those crooks. It's very important. Brethren, God is not out of the judging and balancing business. He will accept or repel us. That's what it means, the same God today, yesterday, and forever. He hasn't changed. We look at these stories and go, ooh, but there's no need to go, ooh, go, ooh, nah. Go, ooh, nah. It's even more, ooh, nah. Because we have the kingdom on earth. So David is being assured by Jonathan. Now remember what the lesson is about. Saul wants to kill David, Jonathan, and their friendship. He's fixing to make a move on the friendship real quick. David swore moreover and said, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he said, let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Now see, David is speaking. And David says, you know, your daddy know me and you tight. You know, we close. But he knows, I don't really want to tell you, man, I can die at any minute. It's inevitable because this is the king and he's hunting me. He's lying on me. I'm just a step from death. This is David's mentality. He knows, I'm as good as gone. But Jonathan said unto David, whatsoever thy soul desire, I will even do it for thee. I'm going to tell you something, saints. I got to make sure we bring this thing home. Saints, you got to understand something. When you're ready for somebody, this is how you talk to them. Whatever you need, man, let me know. And you mean that. But I'm going to share something with you because I don't want your spirit to be crushed because I have a limited time on earth. So I got to talk while I'm here. You're going to serve some people on this planet before you leave. And they're going to be saints and sinners. And you're going to do more for them than anybody has ever done for that saint or that sinner, especially for their soul. And they're going to bail on you at some point. How they bail, whether it's your friendship, parents, whether it's spouse, whether you being the parent, co-worker, saint person together. You must prepare yourself when they bail on you to understand it was never about you, it was never about them. It was always about God and service unto him. See, Jesus said a man can hardly say anything bad about me if he's speaking well. I ain't going to do both. Let him go that way. He's working. So that he's telling the apostles, don't try to make people come with you. This is why you see health fairs. Yes. See, I used to do them. I know the design, and I know why we did. You can't tell me, and I'm telling you, this is the person. I'm like Paul. Suffer me a little folly right now. You can't tell me about a health fair. You can't tell me why people doing it. You can't, because I did it 20 years ago plus. You wasting your time. It's old to me. It's like, man, that's like this. And so somebody just say, let's jet. You start saying jet, let me say that 20 years ago. It's old saying. So you can't waste time. I don't care what somebody told you. The person that invented that, it is invented to draw people to you. That's what we discussed before we started doing it. You can't tell me why they sing that way, because they'll tell you themselves today. If you pull them aside why they're doing it, they will tell you if they're honest. The ones that's body that know why they're doing it, but we sing and be based to draw the young people in. They have nothing to do with God. They already know you wasting, man. I don't want to hear that. It ain't no instrument. Don't worry about that fruit of the lips. That's all we need. This is what we doing. We got liberty. I don't need no scripture. Some priests in Atlanta tell you, I don't need no scripture for this. So you don't know what you're doing when you're doing it, but they know what they're doing when they're doing it. And that's what you need to understand and wake up. That's all I got to say. See, because Jonathan and David know, David is there and Jonathan know, you don't understand. Your daddy going to kill me. And if something don't happen different, your daddy will kill me, regardless of what you're saying. Now, his daddy going to bring it home, let him know, yeah, that boy right, David, because he's going to try to kill his own son. See, when you're tired of somebody, you don't care who's in the way. And brethren, what you got to understand is if you can't read an answer, why are you talking about it? Why are you talking about it? Feeding people, we did that 20 years ago. Church of Christ, I'm talking about Church of Christ. I already knew how the sinners did it, but they bamboozled me in the Church of Christ. Well, we should do it. They got me, and they ate my lunch. But I woke up after a while, thank God. And so, nevertheless, it says here, whatsoever you desire. And verse 5, David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is a new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at eve. And why does he say let me go? Because David knows this is the king's son. And I honor him. See, David is a package. He's a package that is second to none. You can't get him. And so he says, if thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me. Is it a lie? No. He just asked him, let me go on the field 3 days. See, it's not a lie. David is so on point that he might run into Bethlehem, his city, and there is a yearly sacrifice there for the family. Now, so he asking I believe he let him know. Tell him this story. Now, here goes the falsehood. Tell him I'm going to Bethlehem. Why is he going to get grace in his area? Because Saul is a lunatic murderer. And just like God gave grace to Rahab the harlot, he's going to get grace. You know how hard it is for a legalistic Sadducee, Herodian politician to explain what I just said? This is a lie. That's the lie. He's not going to Bethlehem. How you going to lie? Now, they can understand that, but they can't understand God giving grace to a woman or a man getting married again after divorce. But they can get that. But that's a lie. That boy not going to know he's going to be in the field 3 days. That's not Bethlehem where he's at. See, do you go telling lies? No. But you don't never get to tell God what to do, saints. Remember that all your days. If you got a problem with God letting somebody in heaven, guess who's not going to heaven? You. You don't get to tell God to put that. Don't teach who going that the Lord has said not going to go by the pattern. But don't never try to tell God who can go there. Ask Shimon. That's why he lay cold in hell now. Because he tried to tell the Lord David should not be forgiven. And God got him through Solomon. You get to tell God who to forgive. If the pattern in the scriptures show this person get forgiveness, be quiet, saints. Else you shall lock yourself out of heaven and solidify your post in hell. We have gotten beside ourselves in the church just like Saul. We will try to tell God what to do, but brethren, you have no authority. Because if you could make yourself live forever like God says in the Old Testament, I'll raise my hand and say, I'll live. God say, that's what I do. Who can do that? Not the best man he got. Only reason Jesus can say live is because God gives him the life. Brethren, you understand who God is. I know you do. I know you do. Without God, Jesus said, I'm not, there's no good with me. He says, the Father, that's my source. That's your source, my source. You got to make sure, brethren, that you do not let people steal what the Lord gave you. As we wind this up, he says that he is going to be allowed. Look at verse 7. If thus he say, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very angry, wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Trying to let Jonathan know he's going to get me, man. So this how it's going down. So Jonathan thinks he can come and have David sit at me. David doesn't know, man, I'm a step from death. You don't understand how serious this is. I don't want to grieve your heart. I'm going to be killed. You can't stop this. Watch how David's word comes to pass. Verse 8, therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant. Look at David is telling himself a servant. Why? David understands respect and honor. He never disrespects Jonathan. Jonathan always honors him. Brethren, that's what friends are. Or your marriage should be like that. If it's not, fix it. Fix it. Real quick. If you can't respect each other, you say, well, yeah, you know, you're doing something, maybe not respect. Let me tell you something. Both of these men could have easily said that to each other. They're not Jesus. They do sin. We need to understand something, brother. We need to learn what respect is and honor. Respect each other. Honor each other. Give that honor to whom honor is due. So he says in verse 8, therefore thou shalt account thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee, notwithstanding. If there be in me any iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? See, David is telling him, look, man, if you think I'm not right, I'd rather you kill me. Because your daddy is going to kill me if I come to that table. Verse 9, and Jonathan said, far be it from thee, for I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee. Then would not I tell it thee? He said, if I knew that, man, I'm not going to let you get killed. Verse 10, then David said to Jonathan, who shall tell me? Or what if thy father answered thee roughly? See, trying to let him know. Now, these are friends. Saint, you got a friend like this? Get one. Get you one. Get you a friend like this in the kingdom of God, because you're not going to find this type of friend outside the kingdom. I'm sorry. No. See, the best a friend can be to you outside the kingdom is a good physical friend. The best a wife can be to you outside the kingdom, or a husband, is a good physical. Now, I will admit, physical. I'm going to drop this bomb and it's going to explode. Some women outside the kingdom make better wives, and some men. Physically. Physically. Everybody in the Church of Christ can't be a good wife or husband. Amen, amen. I know that by the Bible. So when you get to a person married outside the kingdom, make sure you understand that they understand, but make sure you marry somebody you love and that's crazy about you. And yes, it's going to be physical, brethren, because the relationship stops here. See, we need to understand something. Some women will run rings around sisters in the church. Some men will run rings around men in the church that are outside as far as a physical relationship. Not going to hit you. Not going to have no girlfriend or boyfriend. Not going to be gay. Not going to be hiding money. Not going to be down talking, because they like the physical relationship. Just like the one you have with your parents who are not members of the church. But when you just start wet blanketing Church of Christ, Church of Christ, Church of Christ, Temple of God, be careful. You're having a marriage from hell. Watch yourself, and I'm going to watch myself. Watch your advice. Because you're making a marriage heaven, and it's not. The heaven marriage is you and the Lord. 1 Corinthians 6. That's as sweet as it gets. So remember that. So, yeah, you want that, but when you can't find that, you say, well, this person, they're crazy about me. You need to marry that so you can have a good marriage on earth and come to church. If they never get baptized, be like Gibson. Come to church. You can talk about Jesus all day long. All up in Crockett talking about Jesus. But don't try to say, see, you don't have that power to say that, because God did let them marry certain nations and said you can take wives from them, but they were not Jews. He pointed them out. So, see, that's not going to pass what's written by the Father. And we have a few more minutes and we'll wrap it up. He said, Jonathan said to David, come, let us go into the field. And they went out to the field. And Jonathan said to David, O Lord God of Israel, listen at this. He's making this pact. When I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if thou be good toward David, I then send not unto thee, and show it thee. He says, the Lord do so and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do the evil, then I will show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, and hast been with my father. This is going to be a sad part. I tell you, this is two friends telling each other bye. This is going to be so sad. Just like Paul in Acts 20. Can't be a friend because of an evil father. Some of you have maybe lost friendships. Some of you have maybe even lost marriages for evil parents and friends. I don't know. There's a lot of people listening on this little mic too. So you've got to understand how to handle this. Better to let that friend go before they are destroyed by that evil parent or that evil whatever that's in the way. That's Saul in your life. Because he's going to realize, man, this is going to be it. It's not going to be allowed. And so he says here that unless you plan on picking up and going with head, that's another thing. But Jonathan has to leave to his father because he's going to go in battles. He's got to fight by his dad. So he's doing the will of the Lord. And so he says, if it don't go right, I hope the Lord will get me. And thou, verse 14, so not only while yet I live, show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. He says, but also thou shalt not cut off thy count from my house forever. So he said, because he knows David get in control. See, saints, men flip scripts, so do women. They flip scripts. Get in office, like the guy did, took the towel and killed the king. He did just what Elisha say, wipe out Israel, kill, and kill. But we got to understand, Jonathan said, okay, now if you're ready, my friend, make this pact. Don't kill me and don't kill my house. See, because this is why he's going to show such favor to Mephibosheth and the others of Saul's house. Because David is honorable at this point in his walk. He says that to my house forever, no, not when the Lord had cut off the enemies of David from everyone on the face of earth. So he knows David's going to be the man. So Jonathan then made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemy. He said, even David, he said, no matter what's going on, he says, we got to have this pact forever, you and me. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him. For him, love for him was as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is a new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then shalt thou go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shalt remain by the stone easel. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, go find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, behold, the arrows are on the side of thee, take them, then thou come. For there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. But if I say unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord hath sent thee away. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between me and thee forever. See, this is a bad situation, saints. Sometimes you have these dinner feasts, holiday feasts, and you got to go sit at the table by somebody that's a Saul. And if you miss, what? Yeah, when the time of plane coming in, there's gonna be drama. You still a Campbellite, mocking you, disrespecting God, making a Campbell Jesus, which is a blasphemy. They'll regret those words as they chew them in hell. But they mock. They mock. Here come the only person saved on the earth, y'all. That's Bow. I'm just playing. How you doing? He's smoking more drugs than you can buy, hardly. Drinking, 2 or 3 women on the side. But he's a jovial fellow. Everybody loves Uncle Devil. That's why he's Uncle Devil. That's his name. Aunt Witch of Endor. Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You don't have to say nothing. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm talking about. And you got to sit down there. You got to know, they say when you come to this time, don't say nothing about Jesus. Don't say nothing about the church. If you can't say nothing that's going to be positive, don't say nothing. Well, maybe I don't want to come. Maybe I don't want to go there. How about that? Maybe I don't want to see grandma no more. If it's like that, I used to tell my family, look, I don't need but a signal, and I won't come at all. Because I know how to eat chicken at my own house. Thank the Lord for providing. I don't need to drive 40 miles to eat chicken. And so, I mean, I just was upfront and honest, you know. Hit the door. People want to tell you, don't say, I love y'all. God bless you. Until somebody bring up, I knew somebody going to say, Jesus, yeah, he is good, isn't he? That's it. You shouldn't have done it. See, now you open the door. It's time to talk. Because you're disrespectful. But then every night I get the phone call, the child in the hospital, pray. Of course we will. As Simon said, it'd be a sin not to. Nevertheless, brethren, see, to you that are strong, this is not a big thing. To those that are weak, they'd rather just go and let Pastor, Rev, and everybody else do whatever. Because they're not as strong as you. Everybody not that strong. This thing can affect your life and kill you before the Lord. So David hid himself in the field, verse 24. And when the new moon was come, the king sat down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan rose, and he got a wall by him. And Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day. See, Saul slick, for he thought something had befallen him. Remember, been trying to get him killed. He thought maybe he dead. Maybe the somebody found him. Maybe a Philistine got him finally. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. Do y'all hear this? David not clean. Hear this? You the dirty one, you crunk. You're not holy. God not with you because you prophesied down there in rain. You're not nobody. That was just to get your eyes off how you could be. But you're not that. Verse 27, and it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath to sacrifice in the city. And my brother yet commanded me to be there. And now I have found favor in thine eyes. Let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. Remember, David said, that's a signal. And he said, now he's mad. Make him mad at Jonathan. Now watch this evil man. He said unto him, thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman. He talk about the man mama. Why you want to talk about the man mama? Who likes people talking about their mama? Don't matter if it's your daddy. Do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? Well, it's back with more insults about mama. Everybody, don't talk about people mama, but I'm a dog. Verse 31, for as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, that shall not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. What did Javier say? See, Saul still got the plan. My son going to be next. The man told you it's taken from you. But like Javier say, my son going to be next. That's my plan, and I'm blind. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him. He didn't throw at him just a scam to kill him. Whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined his father to slay David. Now you try to kill your own son now because you mad at another man. So Jonathan rose from the table in fierce anger and did eat no meat the second day of the month. For he was grieved for David because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the appointed time with David and led a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, run, find out now the arrows which I'll shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond it. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried out the lad and said, is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan, lad, gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad and said unto him, go, carry, he says, them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David rose up out the place in the south and fell on his face to the ground. Now look, he's on his face before Jonathan. Watch this, saints. And bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another, and he wept with another until David exceeded. That's like, that's it, man, you know. It's over. It's over for us. We can't run together. Me and you can't be boys, so I'll be king. I could be the king, and you can be my boy. We're in the kingdom. You know how to fight. Instead of Bernard, might have been him. But your daddy is a devil. That's what devils do. And brother, I want you to wake up and understand. You think they're innocent. You think they can't destroy, they can crush you like a grape. They have this man has destroyed a relationship put together by God of friends that could have done incredible things for Jerusalem. But this disrespectful, used to be holy saint is stuck in the kingdom like a tear, a pillar from hell, and you got to deal with him till God lifts his head off his shoulders. See, brethren, what is Jonathan? I mean, what did Saul really do? He's not raping anybody, not a pedophile. He tried to kill Jonathan David. Yeah, he's not really just shedding blood from Dan and Bathsheba like that. He is disobedient like you and I can be. And if you think God has any less anger to you and I and the evil people behind pulpits and in churches of Christ and those outside the kingdom, any less angry, you have fooled yourself and you'll be on the Lord's list. And when he throws his javelin, he doesn't miss. We need to wake up, brother. This is the most serious thing you'll ever deal with, the Lord's kingdom. This is at the top of your list of accomplishment. And mine too. Finally, and Jonathan said to David, go in peace. For as much as we have sworn, both of us, in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. And he rose and departed, and Jonathan went to the city. This is a sorrowful story. And this is what evil people do, brother. They don't let peace dwell in the church, holding grudges for years. You know, hate in the church. I remember people used to tell me, you don't understand why these two brothers don't like each other. It goes way back. I used to say, you know what? I don't even want to hear that. I say, y'all supposed to be the church. When I was new in church, I said, I'm supposed to be the church of Christ. So I don't want to hear nothing about no Bible, no past. I said, I got a past. I said, it's supposed to be washed. They didn't wash theirs. I don't want to hear that, man. I want to hear another Bible. Who did what? I want to hear that. I tell Brian, I said, I don't want to hear that. Yeah, we need to start acting right. That's when I began to pick up the sword. I said, man, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you read some answers from the book. I want to hear this about what y'all think. I don't want to hear that no more. Read the book, man. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of the congregation. Not with you. Because you're going to get me back in hell again. I told a group at a meeting, I said, brothers, I should have stayed in the Catholic church. I said, I could have went to hell and starved. I said, yeah, I could have been a true sinner. Nuns, money, cars, a castle. The convent is like a castle. I said, I don't want to die broke with y'all with your cars leaking all on the concrete. I meant just what I said, and I looked at her. I said, so are we going to do what the Lord say? Or are we trying to go to hell at this church or what? I meant exactly what I said. And I was gone, I think maybe a year or so. I wasn't, brethren, when you come from a denomination, you understand what it is to be with Jesus. And you appreciate it. So I never have been in no church of Christ in my life. Some people in the church, they just spoiled in the church of Christ. They think every church like that. Man, please. There's only one church like that. And we need to understand something. That's why you see zeal from people who come from ugly, ungodly places. What did Jesus say? Been forgiven of much, man. When the Lord forgive you for much, you don't want to be playing around with nobody. Well, I think you want nobody, but we really didn't ask you what you think. Can you tell us what God thinks? Can you read what God thinks? That's what it's about. If you're here now, remember, you're Saul. But the bad thing, you're not even Saul, you're the Philistine king. Because you have not crossed over. But God has said, I love you too. He said, my only begotten son, he died for you. But how do you get the love that we got in the church like he loves Christ? How do you get that love from John 17:25? You got to get baptized. Acts 19, can't just get dipped in water. Verse 1 through 5 shows they heard John's baptism. Not good enough after Pentecost. Expired like charred up, clunky, nasty milk. It is expired. No one can drink it. But you can be refreshed if you get baptized again. Have your sins washed away the right way, the first and the only time you're baptized, by the Holy Spirit. How does that happen? You believe Jesus died? You were right the first time. He was buried. You're right. He lives again. You're still right. The problem is, what you haven't done is he that believes and is baptized shall be saved. He that believes not shall be now. Have not been baptized by the Spirit. So in Acts 2, they ask him in verse 37. Saints, it's so many people on the day of Pentecost that have been baptized by John already, or by one of his disciples? Because this is the holy day, and the holiest people always came from Judah. It was the big crop. So when you have Pentecost, you're going to have all kinds of people already been baptized. You don't hear nobody debating and arguing. We got to get baptized again. You don't hear none of that. When they hear the truth, this man and brother want to share with you. He says, "Repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ, for the remission of sins. You shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. For the promise unto you and to your children, all that are far, even as many as the Lord our God shall call." And with many other words, he testified, encouraged them, "Save yourself from that untoward generation, which is crooked." Then they that gladly receive his word were baptized the same day. 3,000 souls added unto them. They continued in what? Steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, breaking of bread, prayers, and the fellowship. I love that fellowship. 1 John chapter 1. Walk in a light as Christ is in the light. That's how you know you're in. You believe that, brethren. The Lord adds to the church daily, such should be saved. Prayers are lifted up. The Lord answers our prayer. If you believe that, Acts chapter 8, the eunuch is excited. Philip does not show the same enthusiasm until he completes the mission. He said, "What hinders me from being baptized?" When you see the water, he said, "If you believe with all your heart, you may." He says, "I believe Jesus Christ, Son of God." He baptized, and then it's rejoicing time. 1 Corinthians 12:13 says, "For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether Jew or Gentile, bond or free, and have all been made to drink into one Spirit." If you believe that, 1 Peter 3:21-22 says, "A like figure one to even baptism does also now." I love that word now. No word about the thief on the cross. Save us. Not the putting away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience to our God by the resurrection of Jesus Christ is on in heaven. He's at the right hand of God. Angels, authorities, powers, whatever it is, subject unto him. And the same Christ said, Revelation 2:10, "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." Talking to the saints. He says, "You have tribulation 10 days. He doesn't say, it's going to be it for you. I'm sorry. No, he says, "Be faithful unto death, and you receive everlasting life." We believe that, brethren. You can do this right now. Get baptized. You listen to this message, you can call the number and be baptized. And God will reward you with everlasting life. We will find someone no matter where you're at. If you're ready for that, you may. If you're here, a member of the church, and you've gotten off track, don't throw in a white towel like you're doing the boxing. Fight on. Ask the saints to pray now, and we will, as together we stand and sing heaven's invitation. And tenderly Jesus is calling.